It's been about 2 years since I last made a video about my Amazon Vine experience, and the last video engendered a lot of discussion. A lot of people had some questions and some comments, and I wanted to take some time and address some of those today, and also just kind of give a little brief update on the overall Vine experience, how it's changed in the last 2 years, and whether or not I'm still enjoying it and still getting a lot of cool stuff. By far the thing I was asked about the most in the comments of the last video was taxes. What do I do about all the taxes that are accumulating on all of these Vine items that I have ordered? Well, there's a simple answer to that is I don't pay taxes on Vine items. I live in Canada. I don't live in the United States. So Vine items, as far as I know and as far as everyone's told me, are tax-free. When you sign up for Vine from Canada, they make you sign a bunch of forms that say you are not a US citizen because US citizens are taxed worldwide on all the income that they make. So you have to make sure that you tell Amazon, and Amazon wants to know, they ask you all these questions. Are you a US citizen for tax purposes? Do you file taxes in the United States? And if you answer no to all those questions, then you're in the clear as far as I know in Canada. They don't send you any tax forms, they don't send you any income statements, it's all just free stuff and review, and that's the end of it. So to answer that question, in Canada, I don't pay taxes on Amazon Vine items. New since my last video are the Amazon Vine tiers. So there are two tiers, there's silver and gold. As someone who's been reviewing for Vine since about 2016, I think I was automatically put into the gold tier when they introduced the tier system, and I've been able to maintain that status ever since. So the advantages to being a gold tier reviewer are that you can order up to 8 items per day, and the items you can order are more expensive. I think in the silver tier, you're limited to items that cost, I think, $120 or less, whereas in the gold tier, you can order items that are up to any cost. I've been offered things that are $4,000 or $5,000 items. I've been offered things that are $1 and $2 items. So really the spread is quite wide, but in gold tier, you can order items up to any cost. So how it works is your status gets reevaluated every 6 months. And as long as you are reviewing things properly within the guidelines and you're reviewing a sufficient number of items, you're able to maintain your status, or in some cases, move your status from silver to gold. In order to maintain my gold status, I have to review 80 items every 6 months. And of the items that I order, 90% of them have to be reviewed within that 6-month period. So that's a pretty easy thing to achieve when there's a lot of decent items to review. But when there's items that I'm not interested in, or that I don't want to review, or that I don't want to order, that maybe just I don't have space for in my house, sometimes it can be hard to achieve that goal. So what I end up doing is I order things that I think are easy to review and don't take up a lot of space, and are subsequently easy to give away and donate. Things like charging cables or charging bricks, or even like pieces of clothing or towels, or any kind of like housewares like that. Things that are easily, you can try them out once, you know how they work, and then you can either keep them if you like them or donate them if you don't. Another question that I get asked frequently is it hard to review that many products? Not really, because I made my living as a writer before I started Amazon Vine. That's been kind of my lifelong career. So writing comes pretty naturally to me, but the times when it does get difficult is when there are no good items to review. So another thing that happens on Vine is the items kind of ebb and flow. Sometimes you get 3-4 days worth of like really solid, really awesome, really good items, and then you'll get 2 or 3 weeks of just really nothing that's worthwhile. For example, I'm not a car guy, so I don't do a lot of car stuff, but recently I've seen so many automotive parts on my Amazon Vine list, and that's not something that I can use. It's not something that I would even know how to review. I don't know what makes a quality car part. And then since the last video, the overall quality of items I found has declined a little bit as well. And I think I said that in my last video too, that recently I noticed a decline in the quality. Well, the number of well-known brands that are showing up on my Amazon Vine list are getting to be really, really low. I'll see a well-known brand that I've heard of maybe once or twice a month. And again, that depends on which companies are involved in the program and who's offering what products to review. Since I made the last video though, I have gotten a few products from a lot of well-known companies. Like I got a DJI camera, got a bunch of stuff from Ugreen, from ProtoArc. I got some things from Crucial, from Eufy has sent me a bunch of stuff, and Edifier as well. So the product quality ebbs and flows. You get a lot of really no-name kind of random seller stuff, and sometimes you'll luck in and get some really good name brand stuff. But I have to say though, when I first joined the program back in 2016, it was almost exclusively good quality, higher end, and well-known name brand products. So that has shifted a little bit when I think now that any seller can be involved in the Vine program as long as you pay Amazon the fee. So that really opened the door to having a lot of these lower quality, unknown brand things that are just appearing in my list. And I'm still getting a ton of items with like sellers that have really long consonant names like Hoimi, Rosiox, Villaur, Lawrence, Rapu, and Aflui are a couple of them. I don't even think these names are meant to be read verbally at all. I think they're just names to put in as a seller name. Again, I'll recommend watching Half as Interesting, their video about this, and why there are so many Amazon sellers with all these long strings of unintelligible and illegible names as sellers of products. Another question I get asked is, how many items can I order? Is there a max? Actually, there is a max. I can order 8 items per day. And as far as I know, I can order 8 items per day every day. So, I mean, I don't even know what the math is on that, but it's more items than I could ever possibly want or ever possibly use or ever possibly effectively review. So I try to keep it to 1 or 2 items every couple of days. Maybe I'll do 3 or 4 in a week. I think the most I've ever ordered in a day is the 8 maximum, and that was on a particularly exciting day. But I think I've only ever ordered the maximum number of items maybe once or twice in my entire 8 years of doing Amazon Vine reviews. So of course the question that I get asked the most frequently is, what are some of the worst products that I've ever reviewed? So I made a whole video earlier in my channel about products that I gave bad reviews to and how the sellers would reach out to me asking me to change the reviews. So that hasn't happened as much in the last couple of years. I have to say that I don't think I've received a single email from any of the sellers for items that I've given below a 3-star review to. And there have been many that I have reviewed very poorly on Vine just because the product was that bad. Most recently, one of the products was this 4K action camera, kind of like a GoPro or a DJI Action knockoff camera. And it had promise. It looked like it was going to be good. It did actually record in 4K, but the biggest problem that it had was that it would stop recording for about 4 to 5 seconds every 2 or 3 minutes, or whenever the maximum file size was reached on the SD card. And for an action camera, that kind of sucks because you're going to want to record your whole hike, your whole kind of trip down the mountain if you're snowboarding. And so it really kind of rendered the product useless. Unfortunately, also the video quality was pretty terrible, but for the $169 that they're asking for the camera, you can't really expect much, but I did expect a little bit better, considering that I have reviewed other cameras that are lower cost than this, but actually didn't have the same flaws that this camera had. Another product that I received that I didn't really understand were these, I want to call them like designer dog poop bags, where, you know, so like when you're walking your dog and stuff, you like pick up the poop and you put it in the bag and you throw it out. So these are products that are kind of meant to be disposable, and you don't need them to be like super high quality. Yeah, you don't want your hands getting covered in poop, but they don't need to be, you know, they don't need to be as expensive as these ones are. So these ones are about $9, I think, for the dispenser and the roll, but you can get boxes of 50 of these rolls of bags for, you know, $15, $20. So I don't think the value is there. They also smelled really nice, but again, it's one of those things where unless you're, I don't know why you would be doing this, but unless you're carrying the poop around for way longer than you think, you know, until you walk past a garbage can, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why anyone would want to spend extra money on a bag that is literally meant to just be disposable. So I kind of gave this one 3 stars. Like, the product was good, it was good quality, but I don't see the point in spending that kind of money on it. And that's another thing that I try to focus on when I do the reviews, is whether or not the price that they're asking for the product represents a good value. So $9 for 1 roll of dog bags, in my opinion, I don't think is good value. For some people, sure, like that might be something you want to splash out on, but for me personally, dog bags is not something that I need to spend any more than the absolute bare minimum on. So another couple of items that I've gotten recently that didn't really work for me, or I didn't really see the point to, were I got a couple of smart bulbs that didn't really work for me. I'd plug them in and I try to pair them to my phone and they didn't work. Another thing was this really expensive gimbal that you strap your action cam into, so you strap your GoPro into, but all the modern cameras, and even some of the ones, you know, 3, 4, 5 generations ago, have image stabilization. So you don't really need a $100 accessory for your action cam to make it stabilized. I mean, the DJI Action 3, and this is 2 generations old now, has the horizon balance feature where you can swing the thing back and forth and it keeps the image perfectly level. So I don't know why you would want to spend almost $100 on a gimbal for your action cam when it's got built-in image stabilization, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a small compact action cam. Anyway, again, another product that they kind of put out, but I just don't really see the purpose to it, and I don't really see the point to it. But hands down, the worst product that I got in the last few months, and this may even be the worst product that I've received ever from Vine, is this super weird ass knife sharpener where like you put the knife in and then you gotta like rub these two stones back and forth on it. It arrived broken, like the stones had come off. I needed to hot glue them back onto the sharpener so I could test it. But the worst part is how the knife gets secured into the sharpener and how flimsy and how easily moved the sharpening stones are. You could very easily severely injure yourself by just making one false move. You're looking at stitches if you run your thumb along the blade of the knife. So this one, like between how bad the quality was, how unsafe it was, and how niche the product was, like I think in order to make full use of this, you'd have to be like a knife enthusiast or someone who makes their own knives. Like I'm not gonna go and set this up so I can sharpen the kitchen knife that I'm using to chop my green peppers. It's not worth it. So this and the fact that this product was so unsafe and struck me as being so dangerous, I put it together and I sharpened one knife with it, and it didn't even sharpen that great. It didn't even work that well. I took it apart and I didn't even donate it. I just threw it in the garbage because I'm like, nobody needs this in their life. This is a dangerous product, and I would feel terrible if somebody picked this up at the thrift store and hurt themselves trying to sharpen a knife. I also got a few products that I just didn't really see the point to, or there are alternative products that do things just as well and less expensively. Well, the first thing was this almost $1,000 KVM Switch. Now, there's no doubt that this is a high quality piece of equipment. You know, it worked. It did what it said it was going to do. It switched monitors between inputs. It switched USB stuff, but like $1,000. Like, so I'm pretty tech savvy. I consider myself pretty tech savvy. And I thought I must be missing something here. Like I must be missing, this must do something that I don't understand, or this must have some sort of functionality that I'm missing, that I'm not understanding. I sent the link to an IT professional friend of mine and I asked him, I'm like, I'm missing something, right? Like this shouldn't be $1,000. And he got back to me and he was like, I don't see why this is $1,000 too. So it wasn't just me, it was professionals in IT who were saying, I don't see the point of this product. So $1,000 for a KVM switch. I got one 5-6 years ago that was worth $70, and it does the job just as well as this thing. Takes up way less space and definitely was not as expensive. So that was one of the items that I got that I didn't see the value in. Another one was this moisturizing cream for like your man bits, and it's like, I think one of the goals of having man bits is to keep them as not moist as possible. Like you don't need to be putting on any extra stuff down there that's going to keep things, you know, sticking to other things. And look, maybe I just am fortunate that I don't experience man part dryness. Maybe that's an affliction that others suffer from. Luckily for me, it's not something that I suffer from, but I just didn't see the point to it. It didn't like feel good. You know, when you put it on, sometimes you get a tingly feeling if you put like a cream on. It did that. That is not something that I experienced. And it had no smell to it. It wasn't freshening the area up, so to speak. So I didn't really see what the point was. Again, I'm glad that this isn't a product that I personally need. So if you need it, I mean, it was a high quality product. It was fine. It did what it said it was going to do. But for me personally, I did not feel the need to try this more than once or twice. And finally, another item that I got that I think is just one of these like health and wellness trends is a hydrogenating. It's a water bottle that's supposed to add hydrogen to your water. So I looked it up, and apparently there is some benefit to adding hydrogen to your water. I don't know what it is. It's kind of been, you know, peer reviewed and clinically tried, and they're saying like, yeah, it's okay. But when you order a whatever water bottle from Vine, you don't know if it's doing what it says it's doing. It could just be creating bubbles. Who knows what's going on in there? There's no documentation that came with it. There's no explanation of what it does. It's just like, put your water in, press the button, and the timer will go off, and then all will be well. You'll be drinking the healthiest water. And I don't get it. There's no way of confirming that it does what it says it's going to do. And for the $70 that they were asking for a water bottle, like that's almost the cost of 2 Yeti water bottles, like actual good quality name brand insulated water bottles. This one's just glass. It's not insulated. It's not going to keep your special water cold. So this one was like a hard pass for me. And I even wrote in the review, I'm like, there's no way of knowing that it's doing what it says it's going to do. So don't waste your money on this. Just go buy like a $10 or $15 water bottle, and you'll have as much luck as you will with this $70 monstrosity. So how about some of the cooler things that I've gotten over the last little while on Amazon Vine? So as I said earlier in the video, there hasn't been a ton of really awesome stuff, but when I do get awesome stuff, sometimes it's pretty awesome. One of my favorites so far is the XbotGo Chameleon, which is kind of like a little device that you strap your phone to, and it uses AI to track you. So you can kind of walk back and forth or do whatever, and your phone camera will follow you. And I think this is great for athletes. This is great for people who are trying to, you know, make videos on their own if they don't want to have somebody record for them. This is really cool. I gave it 4 stars because there's a few hiccups with the app that I think will be solved very easily with some software updates in the future, but still pretty cool product, pretty neat little device. And I haven't used it yet to make any videos because I don't tend to film a lot of videos outside, but maybe, who knows, maybe something I'll add that to my channel or one of my other channels in the future, and I'll be able to use the XbotGo Chameleon to film myself in a really AI tracky way. So next up is this massaging reclining chair, which has been a really fun addition to my TV room. My kids are really liking it. I'm actually really liking it. It's a really comfortable thing to sit on. It's got like, it reclines to almost flat. It's like almost sitting in like a first class airplane seat, if you've ever done that, where you lie down and it's almost like you're lying flat, but you're not quite there yet. There's a massage feature, which I don't love, but my kids seem to really like, and a heating feature, which I also don't really need because I don't like that feeling of like being a reptile lying on top of a hot slab. But otherwise, it's been a comfortable thing to sit on, and a really interesting, it's a really interesting thing to get. A lot of times you don't get pieces of furniture or pieces of furniture that are this big and comfortable. So this was a really nice addition, a really fun thing for me to review. Any dog owners know that when you're out of the house, you want to do your best to keep an eye on your pup when she's home alone. So I was able to get my hands on this Yui Indoor Camera, which talks to HomeKit, which is my home automation platform of preference that I like to use. And so having this camera has been really great. I keep an eye on Juna when I'm out of the house, make sure she's sleeping comfortably and not destroying any of my remote controls again, like she's done in the past. And just recently, just this week actually, I got this Yui Door Lock combination auto lock camera motion sensor doorbell thing, which has been great because I needed all of those items for my front porch to keep an eye on, you know, my Amazon deliveries and stuff like that. So Yufi's been a great addition to the program. They've sent me a couple of things so far, and I've really enjoyed reviewing their products. So I do find their products to be pretty high quality. So yeah, the Yui cameras and the Yui auto lock and doorbell has been another great addition to my household home automation platform. Another cool thing is this MagSafe Wallet that attaches to the back of my iPhone. Now, I made a whole video about Native Union as a company that I'd never heard of before, and they released like a $65 charging cable a couple years back, and I made a 6-minute video basically ranting about that. But I've changed my tune a little bit on the Native Union as a product line. I found their products to be very high quality, very good, and this MagSafe Wallet has been a great addition to my everyday carry. It's my primary wallet, it's my daily driver now, and I even got one for my wife for her birthday because she liked it so much as well. So big thumbs up to Native Union for their products, and I'm really enjoying the MagSafe one. Not using the charging cable as much because it broke, so I don't know where they're getting off charging $65 for that back in the day, but they've redeemed themselves in my eyes as a supplier of products that actually work and that are good quality. I'd never heard of this company Deity before when they sent me a lavalier microphone audio recording thing. But I've really been impressed by the quality of it. It's got an app that controls everything. It's fully wireless. It's like a really professional grade piece of AV equipment, which I really appreciated getting the chance to test and use. And I've actually used it in a couple of my videos as well. So I'm not using it in this video because I'm at my desk set up, but if I do any more videos outside, I'll probably end up using it to record audio for those videos. But a really high level piece of kit, really easily portable and easy to use. Again, another cool thing that I got from Vine. Amongst a sea of items that I maybe didn't have as much use for, this Deity mic was really, really useful. Lastly, a question that I get asked pretty often is, are there any products that you've reviewed that you've changed your mind on? Anything that's gone from great to terrible or terrible to great? Well, I have to admit that I may have jumped the gun on one of my reviews, and that was for the Ember Smart Cup. I made a whole video about how I thought the Smart Cup was stupid, how no one needed it, how it was just a waste of time and money. But I have to say that in the couple of years since I've had it, I've actually been using it a lot more and using it to drink coffee out of as I sit at my desk and research videos or edit videos or do whatever. And I have to say that I'm really, really liking it. My only wish is that I wish I had gotten a bigger one. The capacity of it is still, the smaller one is still pretty small. but I am enjoying using it and I use it all the time. So that was me kind of just jumping the gun and thinking that maybe this didn't have a use when you actually get into it and actually start to use it and you really start to like it. So the Ember Smart Cup, I'm gonna call a my bad on that one. And if I could go back, I guess I can go back and change the review. I won't, but if I could go back, I would give it a 5-star rating because I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm using it a lot. And when I'm not drinking coffee out of it, it makes a great decoration for Mando and Grogu back there. They like to sit in it and hang out. So it works on multiple levels. So I have to say that the one item that I've changed my mind on the most is probably the Ember Smart Cup. Again, I would give it a 5 out of 5 if I were reviewing it now, knowing what I know, having had it for a couple of years and using it regularly. Thanks for checking out the video today. If you found it interesting, hit that subscribe button because I will be talking more about Amazon Vine and some of the experiences that I have, some of the products that I'm reviewing, and the overall experience of being a Vine reviewer in general. So if you find the topic interesting, or if you're also a fellow Viner, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about Vine, put them down in the comments and I'll get to them in the next video. In the meantime, see you in the next one.